Hey, how's it going, guys? Just finally back with another contest video. I meant to do this a couple days ago, but I ended up just reading comics for 2 days, basically. So, shame on me, I guess. I was going to do a few more entries, but I think most of the contest I was going to participate in went up at the end of April. So here we are, me first. Luckily, Thanatos still has his contest going on. He is celebrating 250 subs, so congratulations. His rules. All right, must be 18 plus. Yeah, I'm almost. God damn, I'm almost double that now. That sucks. Anyway, subbed up. Yep, just recently subbed not too long ago, and so far I'm really enjoying the channel. I like Green Lantern. He really likes Green Lantern too, so I think I'm going to enjoy his content. Uh, Recommend a story arc or one shot. For some reason, I decided to come with three since I've been, spending the last few days reading comics. So I guess that's just the way I do on my channel, I guess. Gotta take it 3 times harder work, I guess. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. 2 YouTuber shout-outs, so I'll start with that. Nice Cover Bro. Actually, I think my contest was his first video. I didn't realize that until I was looking up 2 people to shout out, but my first channel will be Nice Cover Bro. He has 39 subscribers, so... And he's actually been putting out content pretty frequently since he's put out the first video about my contest, so show him some support. He definitely has a long way to go to 100, so I know with a little support it won't take him too long. And then Comic Addiction is at 91 subs today, so let's see if we can get him over 100 by the end of the week at least. He's pretty dang close, so let's see how we can help them out. Alright, so the first story I want to talk about, obviously it's very trendy, and I don't own it, but I did read it on Marvel Unlimited. It's the Infinity Gauntlet. Thanatos was talking about how he hasn't read too much Marvel in the past, and honestly, I grew up mostly DC as well. In the 90s, I did read my fair share of Marvel, albeit like X-Men and some Spider-Man, which Spider-Man was not good in the 90s. I'm sorry. X-Men was alright, of course. That's some excellent artists. But anyway, I did miss out on reading Infinity Gauntlet, so luckily Marvel Unlimited was running a $5 a month special. I guess just 1 month, only $5. I'm like, well, that seems like an excellent opportunity. Go watch the Infinity War movie, then come home and actually read the Infinity Trilogy. I won't get in the Infinity War and Infinity whatever the third one was called. I can't think this second what it was. But the Infinity Gauntlet was so much better than those two. So I figured I'd just focus on this. It is a 6-issue miniseries. Oh my god, it lived up to the hype in my opinion. Basically, Thanos gets control of the Infinity Gems. So I guess if you're living under a rock like I was for the past, I guess this was 1991, so 27 years. Yeah. Great story. Has George Perez on the art, so if anyone knows me, they know I absolutely love George Perez. He's probably my favorite artist of all time. Like I said, I don't know why I avoided reading this for so long. It was very good. I just, like, my favorite parts of it, I think, and I don't want to spoil too much of it, but I do want to talk about it because it is a 27-year-old story. Basically, it just starts off. Thanos has already got the Infinity Gauntlet, and he's trying to court, the female version of Death in the Marvel universe. So it's not like he wants to just kill off half the population for population control. He wants to kill just impress Death, basically. So that's kind of the first thing he does. Is obviously, how you impress Death by causing a lot of death, and that's the first thing he does in that story. So, and then the second thing, I think it was my favorite part, where he just gets mad because Death hates him. She never says a word the whole time. So it just drives Thanos mad. I mean, he's the Mad Titan. I mean, so of course, what does he do? He's just like, I'll show you. And he basically throws a hissy fit. And in that hissy fit, he breaks the Rainbow Bridge of Asgard and throws Earth off its axis so it's drifting away from its sun. And that's just him getting angry. So, of course, the Avengers and everybody else in the universe has to do something about it. So, I kind of just leave it at that. I highly recommend it. If you haven't checked it out by now, get Marvel Unlimited. It's like $5 this month. Definitely use that to check it out. Next up, I decided... he said go for a one-shot or like a small run. I kind of picked all 3. So, that was like my medium, I guess, 6-issue run. I picked Runaways for my next one. I think this was an 18-issue series initially. This is the first run of it. So I guess this would be like the maxi series I picked. Basically, 6 kids who, their families hang out together in this group called the Pride. and more or less the kids find out the Pride is all supervillains basically. So their parents are supervillains, and in the duration of this hardcover, they've got to figure out how do they deal with this. Obviously, the title's kind of a spoiler. They're the runaways. So, and eventually they just end up running away, and they each kind of come into their own, figure out how they can use the gifts and the powers their parents gave them, all while dealing with each other and themselves and their parents, and trying to be a runaway kid out, because they are just children basically. Most of them are. I think the oldest one's probably about 17, 18. So obviously the rest of them are 17 and under. So there's a lot of cops and stuff looking for them, because obviously the parents are saying they have missing children. So even superheroes and stuff, I think even like Cloak and Dagger in this as private agents trying to seek them out. So pretty much the whole world is against these 6 kids, trying to figure out their place in the world and how exactly are they going to take care of their situation with their parents. And there's a lot of twists and turns throughout the series, but I usually just recommend the first one. I think Brian K. Vaughan wrote this. I think he wrote 3 hardcovers worth. So I think this is 18 issues, and in volume 2, I think he did issues 1 through 24, which is about 2 hardcovers worth. And I'm not sure if they've collected this in any omnibus editions yet, but this is actually one of the first hardcovers I ever bought. It was Runaways Volume 1, and it was absolutely great. Got me hooked on all Brian K. Vaughan stuff, so if you guys love this, read Why the Last Man, Saga, and all that good stuff. But definitely check this out. And of course, there's the TV series too. And I will say this: if people out there have watched the TV series and not read this, still want to give this a read. There are several story differences, especially Molly. She's like not even the same type. I mean, she's the same type of character, but she's like a completely last name, different ethnicity, different set of parents in the TV show than the comic book. So this is still definitely worth reading. There are spoilers and things that happen in this that have not even occurred in the show, and I'm not even sure if they will occur in the TV show. So if the show is halfway decent, definitely read this. My last one, I know Thanatos is a Green Lantern fan, and he probably already read this and showed it on his channel. I'm not sure. Maybe I missed that. But I just read this a couple days ago. I wanted to talk about it. Green Lantern Earth 1, Volume 1 by Gabriel Hardman. I really had no ambition to read this, but I kept seeing it pop up on people's channels, and I really do like, especially like the Jeff Johns Green Lantern stuff, and I was just like, yeah, I wanted to order something on InStockTrades.com, and they usually have $50 free shipping, and I ordered an omnibus of Gotham City Sirens, so I'm like, yeah, why not order this, bump it up to $50, get the free shipping. So I got this for 42% off, yay. This is actually really good. I'm so glad I got convinced to pick this up. Basically, if you guys aren't familiar with the Earth 1 line of comic books, or trades or hardcovers, whatever you want to call them at this point, more or less they're like Elseworlds type tells, in my opinion. Like DC did in the 90s. More or less, they don't take place in the regular continuity or continuity. They kind of take place in their own, contained book like this. So basically, Gabriel Hardman wrote his own Green Lantern story with no restrictions or past storylines weighing in on it. So this, try to think of the best way to phrase it. It feels like a science fiction novel adapted to a comic book that was based on Green Lantern, the comic book. So, Harold Jordan in this is an astronaut instead of just like a fighter pilot, which, he still, flies most any type of vehicle in this he can. But basically he's working for instead of Ferris Air. Like Ferris kind of took over NASA somehow. Didn't really go too much into explaining that, but basically they just mine for resources on different planets and type of that stuff. So NASA's kind of got away from like exploration, and instead of just hoarding minerals. So there's a little bit of a bleak outlook in terms of humanity in the future in this. So obviously the coming of the Green Lanterns and the hope and the light that comes with it means just a little bit more by the end of the story, in my opinion, because of all of that. So anyway, he finds the Green Lantern ring and lantern on, whatever planet they start on. And it's sort of similar to, how Hal in the comics discovered the ring to begin with, except there was no like Abin Sur's dying words to Hal Jordan, and like the core is already screwed by the point he finds the ring. Like the Manhunters are basically in charge of the universe at that point. So basically, Hal just goes head first in this whole situation, trying to figure out what the Green Lantern is, what the Green Lantern Corps is, who the Manhunters are, and he even meets a version of Kilowog along the way, which is really awesome. And also, Kilowog's actually portrayed pretty different in this book too, so it's worth checking out for him as well. And yeah, I mean, I don't really want to talk too much more about it to spoil the story, but I mean, I read this in one sitting. Like, as soon as I started reading it, I was sucked in immediately. That's why, like I said, I was going to make more videos the last few days. I ended up just now making one because I got sucked into reading this and then the Infinity Trilogy, like all of them in 2 days. So definitely, if you're a Green Lantern fan, this is probably my favorite Green Lantern story I've read since probably Blackest Night. I do like the Jeff Johns stuff. I didn't really like the New 52 Green Lantern stuff too much at all, except for the last run that Johns had. But I would say this is probably the best Green Lantern book DC's put out since Blackest Night. So definitely check that out. Other than that, I'll put all the links in the description below, up, wherever it ends up in this whole mess. So check out the channels. They're all better than mine anyway. So other than that, I'll probably come back with a contest update in a few minutes. So thank you for watching this, and have a good night.